Donald Trump has threatened to impose secondary tariffs of 100% on Russia and countries that trade with it in an attempt to bring the war in Ukraine to an end. The US president gave Moscow 50 days to reach a deal to end the war. His announcement came during an Oval Office meeting with NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte.
You're very unhappy, I am, with Russia, but we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%. You'd call them secondary tariffs.
The US president also announced that his country would rearm Ukraine with missiles and other weaponry, including the Patriot air defense system. He'd earlier said the European allies would pay for them. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte said Canada, Germany and the UK would be among the buyers who would supply Ukraine.
You want Ukraine what it needs to have to maintain, to be able to defend itself against Russia, but you do want Europeans to pay for it, which is totally logical. And this is building on the tremendous success of the NATO summit. The 5%, but also the decision to keep Ukraine strong and the decision to increase our defense industrial production.
Let's go straight to our correspondent in Washington, Janelle Dumalaon. Welcome, Janelle. Donald Trump changing his mind yet again.
Indeed. And, so that meeting between President Trump and Mark Rutte just wrapped up. There were two main takeaways, outlining them again for you here. One is that President Trump called on President Vladimir Putin to put a deal on the table to end the war in Ukraine within 50 days or risk secondary tariffs of 100% on Russia's trading partners. The other one, as you said, is that NATO countries will be buying U.S.-made weapons from the U.S. and be responsible for distributing them to Ukraine. So that was, as has been telegraphed, from yesterday. But looking at that first announcement, that threat of secondary tariffs of 100% to Russia's trading partners if there is no deal in 50 days. Remember that there is a bipartisan package winding its way through Congress now, sponsored by Senator Lindsey Graham and about 85 co-sponsors, that would enable President Trump to put 500% worth of secondary tariffs on Russian trading partners buying Russian oil, buying Russian gas. So we know that this is not that. President Trump was not explicitly endorsing this package. He also did not reject it, but he did say, quote, that he thought 100% would go a long way. 500% would, quote, be meaningless after a while. It is not clear why he has given Russia a 50-day deadline. He was asked about it, but there was no clear answer forthcoming. Now, going back to that second announcement, as previously indicated, so the U.S. will be providing especially Patriot defense missile systems to NATO countries, who will then be responsible for giving those to Ukraine. He said that those weapon systems will arrive very soon in Ukraine within days. He said, we're not buying it, but we will manufacture it. They're going to be paying for it. Clearly very important for him to stress Patriot missile defense systems, of course, costing over $1 billion to build. We already heard previously from President Zelensky, who said that Germany was going to buy 2 and Norway was prepared to buy 1. So we are looking for more details from this announcement as the day goes on.
OK, thanks for that, Janelle. Janelle Dumalaon in Washington.